Hi Taurus, this is your general tarot reading for Taurus Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign, as two cards leap out here before I even say hi, how are you? It's the Moon is your first card, then you have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so we're going to continue shuffling until we have all the cards, and we're going to talk about the energy for the month of February, Taurus, until we have all the cards here for the grand overview. So what is the energy for you guys? Well, we know that on the 31st of January, there's going to be a big lunar eclipse happening for you in your 4th house. So what is the 4th house for you guys? The 4th house is all about your home and your family life. Sometimes it can be about childhood and childhood memories. So, as the lunar eclipse kicks in and it's going to influence the beginning of February for you, you're going to find yourself asking questions like, is my home good enough for me now? We talked about this a little bit last month as a card falls on the floor. An hour to get it, Taurus. Okay, it's the Tower. And I was just saying, in relation to your home, are you feeling like your home is good enough, secure enough for you at the moment? And this card represents the crumbling down or the tumbling down of your foundations and your structures. So, maybe there's some repair work to do in your home. I know that we spoke last month about some of you may even be moving home or moving away from 4 walls that gave you some security and independence. So February is the month to tackle these situations. Also, in terms of your family, you'll begin the month really feeling like that there's a big Leo, because the lunar eclipse is Leo, there's a big stage spotlight shining on your home and your family life. You could spend more time at the start of the month with your family. Now, I'll say this too, eclipses can often bring unusual circumstances. They can bring unusual people. It can be a little bit mad. That's where I'm trying to go with this. Mad people, mad situations, you know. And here we have the Sun, we have the Moon and the Sun, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse happening in February. It's funny because your other Venusian friend, the other person who's ruled by Venus, is Libra, and they also got the Moon and the Sun in their reading. So particularly for you Venus influenced people, I think these eclipses are going to be very strong. Here we have the Ace of Wands. We're going to keep shuffling, Taurus. Let's keep shuffling. Yeah, so family life is going to be the big thing. And strange and unusual circumstances in your family life. How would that pan out? I don't know, maybe you might get a call from a relation, somebody in your family who might be a little bit eccentric. Maybe the black sheep of the family might come to call. And it'll be strange because they might remind you of some happy childhood memories, or they might make you feel secure within your family, even though you would often perceive them as being outsiders, people who just aren't in your close family group. And yet here they'll come with their influence and surprise you in some very positive way with some good memories. So that's a nice thing to begin the month with, Taurus. We're going to balance that out though with the solar eclipse that's happening in mid-February. And for you that's going to be happening in your 10th house of career, of your business life, of your reputation, how other people, how they see you, and how visible you are basically to the people who matter, okay? And you will want to become more independent, maybe even cause a little bit of a revolution in your business life and your career life as the Queen of Cups comes out. Yeah, why a little bit of a revolution? Because the solar eclipse mid-February is influenced by Aquarius. They do not like the status quo. They don't like business as usual, as 3 cards jump out. We have the Lovers, we have the Knight of Cups, we then have the Page of Wands. Only 3 more cards, Taurus, then we're ready to have a real look at what the cards are saying to you. But first, we'll go on with the energies. Yeah, so a bit of a shake-up of the status quo in your career. I think that you will be having a sense that in your career, in all the things that you're showing your ambition in, usually we say it translates into career, but it's wherever your ambition and public image is and reputation. You'll find that it's not really showing something true. I often use the word it's not authentic, and you won't be impressed with that because you're prepared to give such a huge amount of time and energy to your ambitions and to your career and to your public image and reputation that you don't want to start on the wrong foot. As a bunch of cards there, I'll just take the one that fell on the floor. I'll get it, hold on. It's the 2 of Swords. I'm saying you don't want to start off on the wrong foot, and you're answering me here by saying, yeah, but there's so many options, so many choices, so many paths I could go down, and yet I don't seem to have all the information on which one is the right one. Well, Taurus, you know what the right path always is? It's the most authentic path for you. Because as I said, you don't want to start this wonderful journey where you're focusing on your career for the month. You don't want to start that in a bad way, because you are the people who you start as you mean to go on. So if there are any challenges in your career or in the place where you have your ambitions, start as you mean to go on, and don't be distracted by other people. It's almost like, I'm going to use this phrase as the bull, which you are, Taurus, and the plough. It's like somebody's coming in on a good field, a perfectly good field, and turning it over to plant a crop. But you're saying, I know this field. This is my field of expertise. You're pulling up the ground and you're digging it all up to plant a crop that really doesn't suit the ground. It doesn't suit the location. It doesn't suit our needs. And you're looking around and saying, we already have everything that we need. The basics are here. Why don't we stop this big, grand, destructive path and focus on what we already have and build on that, and take the resources that we already have and use them to the best possible advantage. So that's how I translate the energy. I'm sorry if I'm using farming metaphors here, when maybe some of you are saying, I have never been to a farm before, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But it is that energy of people trying to make a silk purse out of a pig's ear, as they say, as a bunch of cards jump out. We've the 8 of Pentacles, and our last card is the 3 of Swords. We have 2 cards that also jumped out who want to be heard, so we'll listen to them, Taurus. It's the Magician and the 10 of Pentacles, so we'll put them there aside. So you get what I mean by that? People trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. They're trying to turn something low quality into something high quality, and you're saying, no, that's not how it works. We need to go back to basics and look at the fine things that we have and try to make something out of that instead. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Taurus. I think it will as the month progresses. So let's look down at the cards and see what the heck they're talking about. Okay. Here we go, Taurus. You can see? Okay. We have bookends here. Lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. So let's talk about the energy that's happening between these two bookends. Okay, so we talked about the lunar eclipse happening on the 31st of January in your 4th house of family and home. And we also talked about the disturbances that can bring, the unusual people that it might draw out, maybe within your family. Because this card very often represents the unusual, the mad, the things that are buried deep, things that are hidden. Let's not forget that they could be childhood memories being triggered at the start of February for you, Taurus. And often when this card appears, it talks of very strong and vivid dreams. Disturbing dreams sometimes, having restless nights, not being able to sleep well. And so you may begin the month feeling a little bit tired and worn out by this eclipse because you haven't been able to shake some of the strange thoughts and ideas that are tumbling around in your dreams at night time, okay? But don't worry about this, Taurus. Everybody's going to experience this energy. All of the signs will experience this. It's just for you. You will be experiencing it within your family life and within your home life, okay? And what's beside that? Here we have the Knight of Swords. And this guy is the energy of having an idea and moving ahead quickly with it. So what's going on with that? In the home, in your house, are you going to make a swift decision and finally decide to change your home or change something within your home? Maybe a whole new decor, or you might change something in your garden, because we know, Taurus, you love your garden and your plants and things like that. So there will be a big swift decision on your part to make great sweeping changes under the influence of the eclipse in your 4th house, in your family life. We can't ignore the fact too that swords represent the spoken word and truth. So what could happen for you too under the influence of the eclipse at the start of February is you will come running in with grand sweeping truths about your family life. By God, if there's truths to be said, Taurus, you have the energy to do it now. I'll just ask you to please try not to hurt anybody as you're doing that, because when the Knight comes in, he moves boldly and swiftly. And you're not a mean person. So if you do have to move boldly and swiftly, fine. But try not to take too many hostages along the way, Have your point, say your piece, but don't do it under the moon madness, okay? Think before you jump, right? Because we know that Mars is in your 8th house of deep transformation. We know that deep psychological transformation, which will be heightened by the lunar eclipse. So, like I said, it'll be a great opportunity for you to run with grand sweeping changes in your family life or your home. But be kind, Taurus. Please be kind. Don't hurt too many people along the way. And then what do we have? The Tower tumbling down. Now, this could represent anything that you would see as the structure in your life, very often your home. But in your case, Taurus, I see this more as your belief system, because I know that there's a lot of energy at the moment in your beliefs, in your worldview. And what's going to happen with the eclipse is that your perspective on something might entirely change, and it will come crashing down. See this bolt of lightning here? That's also Aquarian energy. Aquarius is driving the solar eclipse mid-month. See, right beside it. Aquarius, the flash of lightning is driving this. So I think at the start of the month, you will be forced in some way to really challenge the issues in your home life. For some of you, if you have been glossing over something or trying to say if there's plumbing or work that needs to be done and you've just been patching it over, February might kind of come a bit of a lightning bolt where it says, you can't ignore this problem anymore, baby. You've got to face it and you've got to look at it, okay? In terms of your career life too, this will mean a breaking down of all the structures. Like we said, you're no longer satisfied with how things are moving within your career or your ambitions or your public reputation. And you might experience that lightning bolt in February, which again forces you to go back to basics and to look at what you already have and build from the ground up again. Okay? Strengthening that is the solar eclipse happening on the 15th of February in your 10th house of career. Now, this could, as we said, give you a big focus on being more independent in your work life. You're not so satisfied with the status quo anymore, which is surprising for you, Taurus. And you want to change things up. There needs to be a zap of lightning, a revolution in your career, okay? And that is going to happen for you. But it'll be pleasant at the same time, because even though it sounds like a big dramatic sweeping change in your home and career, the sun is shining on it. And Aquarius is influencing this. Aquarius is great in groups and in friends. So I think that you might draw strength. If there are any difficulties this month, Taurus, you'll draw great strength from your friends, from extended communities, perhaps even groups that you subscribe to, sports teams. Maybe you'll say, to hell with all these guys, I'm going out to watch the match. I'm going to watch the game, have a beer, and everybody else can get lost. If the house is crumbling down, if the family life is being a bit chaotic under the influence of the eclipses, I'm out of here. I'm going out with my friends and I'm just going to forget all about it and have a little bit of fun. You should do, Taurus, because everything needs balance. If there are some complications in our life, we've always got to laugh at it. We've always got to joke, and we've got to see the funny side, the bright side. Leo is great at that under the lunar eclipse on the 31st. They'll be saying, come out, baby, look, go out with your friends, have some fun. You can fix this. The problem will still be there when you get back. Don't ignore us and don't ignore the game. We gotta have fun, okay? And then what, Taurus? What happens then? We have the Ace of Wands, the divine hand of the universe opening up the skies and handing you the next purpose in your life. So February is going to bring you a brand new purpose. And what is that? It is to give you more drive, passion, energy. You have been feeling a little bit stuck and a little bit bored. Things just haven't been moving quick enough for you, which again, people will say, well, Taurus like things to move at a slow, steady, secure and comfortable pace. They're not great with surprises. Not true, Taurus. You are also susceptible to feeling stuck and feeling bogged down and wanting the air to change so that you can move ahead. And this is going to happen, my love, in February. You're going to be reignited with that new sense of passion, particularly in your family life, in your career, where you'll take that big stick and say, I hold the stick now. I'm the one in control. You know those people that used to have the talking stick? If you're holding the stick, then you're the one that gets to do the talking. This is what it's going to be like in February for you, Taurus. I've got the stick. Throw me the balls and I'm going to swing the bat and you watch where I throw them. I'm going to win this. So it's a winning energy for you, Taurus. And you'll be joined, this energy, winning, passion, drive, desire, will be sitting right beside the Queen of Cups. And her energy is wonderfully soft, inviting, gentle, but full of passion, full of love. I know that Venus is going to be joining Neptune. This is quite Neptunian energy in your 11th house, which is all to do with your friends. You remember I said you need to go out, have fun with your friends, let your hair down, go watch the game, go follow something that all your friends do with you, get back in touch with your pals. And there, you'll find a happy place. You'll be re-energized by this lovely energy that the Neptune spirit here, represented here, will give you. But we can't ignore the fact that this could also be love driving you forward. And it could be the love of a water sign, who are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Or they could be very, very dreamy and romantic, and they give passion. They give feeling to all the fire. And when fire meets water, it creates steam. So there could be a wonderful moment mid-February where you feel that gorgeous passion and rush of desire for somebody who opens up emotionally to you, and perhaps even psychically and intuitively. They will drive something very potent and very powerful in you. They'll ignite you, baby. Come on, baby, light my fire. Yeah. Here we have the Lovers. Moving on then. The Lovers, yeah. The Lovers is represented by Gemini. So it could be a Gemini. You see we have the Queen of Cups here. And then we have the Gemini beside the Knight of Cups. Could a Gemini be coming to be your knight in shining armor? Sometimes that's what this card can this coupling can represent. Somebody coming as a savior to lift you out and to inspire you again. This card also represents self-reflection. Perhaps a Gemini will be triggering you to look deeply within yourself. There's a lot of energy going on with you, with Mars in your 8th house, about looking deeply inside psychologically and trying to transform yourself, like the energy of the chrysalis, the cocoon, turning into the butterfly. A Gemini could be helping you with that, Taurus. Or it could be just somebody who you are really, really in love with. This card gives you opportunity in love. Maybe you have more than one opportunity to fall in love this month, Taurus. I know some of you are here, you're saying, I don't really want to be in love. It's not where I'm at. It's not my game. I'm focusing on my home and my career. But we can't ignore that somebody who's very mercurial could be triggering this type of self-reflection in love, where you're asking yourself, do I love myself enough? Do I offer enough love to the people in my life, to my family? And do I give enough devotion to my career and to my self-respect and to my reputation? Kind of nice, huh? But I'm just coming back to it. As I put the cards down, I really do get the feeling that emotions will be driven. There'll be a fiery desire to fall in love, to speak your truth and feel that deep, watery passion. And perhaps, like I said, with a Gemini or somebody very mercurial, somebody who has the gift of the gab, who can talk about every subject, and you'll like them. And here we have now the Page of Wands, Taurus. This guy for me is a quirky character. Didn't I say you might experience a quirky character in your family or your extended group of friends? Somebody who is, you know, they hear the music and only they hear the music and they dance to that music. What's that phrase? Those who were seen dancing were thought mad by those who couldn't hear the music. And this perfectly describes this character. This is a fire sign. It could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but very often for me, this card represents an Aries. They can be a little bit sure of themselves, often perceived as cocky, as going around the world trying to get experiences just for them. And yet that's not always the truth. If you look deeply at an Aries, even though it seems like they're pulling all the attention towards them, what they're actually doing is creating a space so that everybody can join them and join in with them. And you'll be motivated by this. You'll be inspired by them. They'll be a little bit off-center, like I said, a little bit eccentric, doing their own thing. Do you remember Sesame Street, that song? I don't know if all of you watched Sesame Street, but you remember that song? One of these kids is doing their own thing. One of these kids is not like the other, or however it went. That's who he is. He's one of those kids who's doing his own thing. I mean, look at what he's wearing. Who wears that to the office? Not everybody. This is not a look you can pull off very well, Taurus. But they do. And they will be a great inspiration to you. You'll want to adopt something about their attitude that will really feel that you can use that. You use something that they offer and use it well. They'll make you smile too. But here beside that, we have you being in two minds. Maybe you're in two minds about a character who is perceived as very cocky, very sure of themselves, somebody who wants to dominate the conversation and who has places that they want to go, and they're saying, come with me, come on, let's go. This is how it's done. This is where we need to go. And you're saying, I'm not so sure about this. I mean, you seem to be very confident about where you're going, but what's this based on? I mean, are you just pulling shit out of a feather in your hat here and saying, yeah, this is where the wind is taking me? I mean, where are we going? You see up here too, the eclipse. The eclipse energy is going to inspire you to let your hair down a bit and to let down your guard and not to be so judgmental about people who are maybe being inspired by something lunar. You know, maybe you can trust the madness a little bit more. They are mad. They are off doing their own thing. And yet you're saying, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't have all the details, I can't make the move. Go with them, Taurus. Even for a little while. They have an adventure to go on. And what's your alternative? To be stuck? To be in two minds, indecisive? Nah, run with it. And if it doesn't work out, who cares? You can always go back. You don't have to be stuck in the madness. It's only for the month of February, my love. Here we have this card. I laugh now at this point because this card here is coming up month after month, time after time for everybody. Its energy is demanding to be felt. And it's quite Plutonian energy. And for you, there's deep transformation work happening for you. And this is what this card means. It's looking deeply into everything that you're doing within your family and career in particular, but also deep in yourself, in your emotions, in your childhood memories, and you're examining it and you're saying, what is bent out of shape? What do I need to repair? What do I need to fix? Can I take everything from the past and remodel it in a way that suits my worldview better? It's deep focus. Trying to take all the materials that you have now and shape it into something worthwhile. We spoke about this at the start of the reading, Taurus. And yet here we have this beside it, being heartbroken. Why? Why would you be heartbroken at the very end of the month? This card usually represents traditionally having a love rival or somebody who is in the middle of you and your love. It isn't often always a person, it could be a situation. There is something that might come between you and your love. An argument. 3 also represents communication. An argument. You're getting similar cards to Libra. There's nothing here yet to indicate a Libra. And yet here we are with Libra following a similar pattern where there's an argument where you're quick to jump in and complain about something that's dividing you and your love, be it work or another person, or something that challenges the smooth running of your relationship. If it's another person, You know what, Taurus? You don't need that shit in your life. And maybe that's the energy that we had here, speaking the truth and running with it. Speak your truth and say it out. If there's somebody bothering you in that way, if somebody is muscling in on your love life, have it out, say it. But if it's something else, if it's work or something else separating you, have the conversation, yes, but realize at the same time that if it's a work thing, very often the focus needs to be there this month. So a little bit of tug of love here at the end of the month. If it, like I said, if it's work dividing you, know that it's because the energy is making that happen. People need to focus at the moment in February on their ambitions and on their careers. So be gentle, be kind, and don't let your communication fall into feeling heartbroken, my love. We don't want Taurus heartbroken, especially not in February. I mean, Valentine's is in February for those who celebrate Valentine's. You can't be heartbroken in Valentine's, we're not. We're just simply not going to allow that, Taurus. And these are the two cards that demanded to be read. Okay, the first one that came out was the Magician. You have the Lovers here, then the Magician. Two mercurial cards. Mercury, Mercury. Industry, communication, business, trade, learning new skills, learning hobbies. And being the influence, it could be again that Gemini pushing things along here. Doors are opening for you, pathways are opening, and you're beginning to feel the change under the destruction that you're going to be feeling at the start of the month. Air will become clear. All the things will fall down in order for you to build back up again this February, starting again from a brand new foundation and seeing the new possibilities of what can go on into the future. Remember, we said you want to start as you mean to go on. And in order to... Sorry, Taurus, I got cut out there. The energy is saying start as you mean to go on. And in order to continue, you have to have good foundations. So the Magician here is going to offer you the options of where you can now lay the cement for your good, solid foundations for the future going on into 2018, okay? And then the last card, I love this. This is the Hero's card. You're going to feel the motivation and the drive and the deep work that you're going to be focused on this month. And you're going to feel that you're making progress, that you're pushing ahead and feeling like a success at the end of the month. So if anybody was annoying you towards the end of the month, we really do finish it by seeing yourself as a great success. So not important. And also, you know, the 10 again, the solar eclipse being in your 10th house, success, sunshine. You remember sunshine and success. And don't forget celebrating it with groups of friends and family. This is also a family card. The themes essentially, Taurus, whatever happens through the month with your family life, with your career, in all of those aspects and starting with a good foundation, ultimately the energy that you put into it and the focus that you put into it now will make you feel like you've done something successful by the end of the month. And for those of you Taurians who were looking for love, and I didn't read very much about love, I did say there are water signs who are opening up to you. That's Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And you might be very inspired. Fire meeting water, creating steam. And Gemini, we can't ignore the fact that there are two mercurial influences here. Could also be love coming from work. Taurus, sorry I got cut out there again. I don't know why. I better wrap this up, okay? Taurus, have a wonderful February. I know it's going to be a great time for you, particularly with your family life and your career. And if this is the first time seeing my videos, please do subscribe, like, share, join me on Facebook. And do come back again next month for more, so we can find out what's happening for the rest of the year with you guys, with Taurus. And have a wonderful time. I'm going to leave you with a big kiss from me to you. See you next time, Taurus.